Hello everyone, welcome back to Edwards Trades. I'm here again giving you guys another market update on the SPYs and QQQs as well as a few core listed companies. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, my ideas, as well as, give you guys, the overall update in the stock market and give you guys my predictions of where I think we're heading and so on and so forth. So with that being said, I want to get something out the way. I apologize for not uploading a video. I think it was last week because I was kind of ill. I wasn't feeling too good. I did lose my voice, so I wasn't able to, talk and create videos. But I'm here again. I'm gonna make you guys, bring you guys up to speed. And yeah, I apologize for that, but I'm still gonna post regularly, so don't worry about that. But to bring you guys up to speed on exactly what happened, so CPI data came out 2 weeks ago, which was, I think it was the 11th of November, and inflation ended up going down, right? So inflation dropped about it was like last month's CPI data was 8.2%. This one came out to 7.7%, which is a huge drop, and the market seen some bullish action. And the market obviously liked that news that inflation is toning down a little bit, so the market kind of rallied higher. And now we're kind of sitting here. This is SPY, right? We're kind of in this region. If we go to the weekly time frame, right, we kind of have this bullish run here on the 11th, right? SPY jumped, inflation went down, which is good. And also upcoming, there was more economic news that came out. I forgot exactly what it was, but it ended up being more bullish, right? So this could be a good sign and a good step that inflation is being under control. And now we just have to wait and see if the FOMC meeting that's going to be coming out in December, I believe, is going to either do a 0.75 basis rate hike or 0.50. If it's 0.50 bullish, 0.75 maybe a little bit of bearish, but it's still progress, and progress is always good for the market. Any good news for the market is, good news for the market, and they like to hear that inflation is being toned down. But with that being said, right? So again, we have inflation going down. There's good news, a lot of good news coming out. Economic news. I think retail sales were doing good as well. So now we're kind of sitting right here at 397. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the technicals, right? And elaborate a little bit more of exactly what's been going on, right? So it's kind of been a little bit difficult as of late, ever since that CPI data on the 11th, right? The market has been moving higher, right? Setting higher highs, higher lows, higher high, and we're possibly waiting for a higher low situation, right? But what's interesting about exactly what we're being placed at, right, is that we were expecting, this was the 11th, right? So the market gapped up the following morning, and we are now sitting right around here at 397. And because of that reason, and we're creating these higher highs and higher low situations, right? That's obviously bullish, right? Higher highs and higher lows are bullish, right? There's nothing wrong with that formation that we got going on here. But I also would like to point out, excuse me, hang on 1 second. Excuse me. I've been sneezing a little bit. So there's nothing wrong with the location that we're standing at this point, right? But I've been kind of waiting for the market to pull back. We're kind of following this trend line that I have drawn out here, as you can see here. It's not the prettiest, but it's like something like this here, right? Anyway, like that. There you go. We have higher highs and higher lows, right? Which typically is a bullish sign, right? You have your, go ahead and get my drawings out here. Your drawing, right? You have your, your high here. You have your low here. You have your low here, right? You have your higher high here in this region. And then you have your higher low here in this region, right? Now, we're probably waiting for the market to pull back. Again, we have another higher high here. And now we're just waiting for possibly another higher low here, somewhere around the 383 region, right, to fill this gap and, continue this upward trend line that we have drawn on here, right? Now, I want to point out my major concern, right, is the overall picture on the daily, right? There's been a lot of back and forth with the market, right? We're kind of been in this chopping block here. We go up, we come down. It's kind of been sideways here for this past week. and it's kind of been a little bit difficult to read exactly what's been going on, right? But so far, it seems like the market is bullish, yes. But we can't pace ourselves and assume that this whole like amount of selling pressure that has been taken out for this whole. Let's go to the weekly time frame, right? We still are in a complete downtrend, right? And from a weekly perspective, this could be another higher low situation that we're waiting on, right? We have your high, lower high, lower high. Maybe we're going to tag the 406 region here, the overall weekly trend line, and then continue to fall over because, again, you know, I'm not saying it will happen, but it's likely possible until we make a higher high above this high or get out of this weekly downward trend line, right? I can't say for the long term it's bullish, right? But for the short term, yes, the market is bullish. And as you can see here for this week that closed, right? Which was the 14th through the 18th, right? This past week, we formed an indecision doji candle, right? So there was a lot of indecision this week. We haven't really sellers weren't able to push the market back down and fill that gap that I showed you on the daily time frame, right? And then obviously buyers weren't or they sellers weren't able to do their job and bring the market below 390, and buyers were not able to push above 400, right, and continue the next move higher. But with that being said, I still believe that we're waiting for another possible like pullback because again, the overall trend line formation is pretty much like this, right? Like this. Maybe we hit this trend line here and fall over. But the reason why is because on the short term perspective, yes, although we're getting good news about inflation being toned down just a little bit, right? The structure on the daily is bullish, but the weekly time frame is still bearish, right? And obviously you want to look at the bigger picture. So this could be another bear market rally where this is like a false indication that we are bullish. We could easily plop back down, right, and reach new lower lows until we get out of the weekly trend line here, this white line here. Until we get out of that, the short term perspective, we're bullish, right? And what would lead me to change my opinion is whether or not the Feds are gonna do a 0.75 basis rate again. Also, if the December inflation report comes out lower, that's usually a good time to be like, okay, well, we're getting consistent low levels of inflation, which is a good sign. So that that's what we want in the long run. If we can get that going good, then the market will be able to digest the news and be like, okay, since inflation is toning down, then we can actually be on the risky sectors in the tech sector and continue to move higher and then be bullish, right? But we need it, it's a lot that comes into play. So again, a lot of news coming out, in the future, near future. And of course we have Thanksgiving this week, and I think the holidays, I think this Friday, those stock markets close. So with that being said, because it's the holidays, I think we're gonna have some little bit of a sell-off taking place, right? Because people don't want to hold their positions for the holidays. I remember last year, I think it was during Thanksgiving that people kind of like sold off their positions. Nobody wants to hold positions through the weekend. They wanted to spend time with their family and friends. So I think we might be maybe some choppiness, maybe a little bit of selling pressure. But also too, what I also would like to point out here too is that we could be forming a bear flag situation here, right? And a bear flag is typically bearish. Obviously, it's a bear flag. And, we could be expecting, right? We have our first high here. Maybe we get another lower high. Maybe we hit this trend line here, this final weekly trend line, and then we just continue to fall right back over. But again, we're just waiting on a decent pullback. If we bring out the Fibonacci, the fib levels, and I go from this region to this region, right? As you can see here, a pullback from this region to here is a pretty decent 38.2 retracement, which is typically like a really decent retracement level, right? It's pretty valid, and even if we drop below here at the 50% region, 374 is still pretty decent, you know what I'm saying? So, as long as we're not below the 61.8, if the market decides to pull back here in this region and create that higher low situation that we need to be bullish, it's still not that bad. I wouldn't worry too much about it. But again, I'm looking for that 382 region, and we kind of been avoiding that, and we need to fill this gap. But again, even if we go from this perspective here, or whoops, I don't know why it moved, right? On the fib levels, we go from this region here to here. right? Again, let me see here. Right here is pretty good. Again, it still falls in line if we go from this level to the 405 region, or is it here? Oh, right here. Okay, so I apologize. It's not really like sticking on the thing here. Is it here? Yeah, it's still good. 38.2 retracement, even from to this region here, 378. It still validates the idea that a pullback to this region is okay. It's safe at 380, but again, we still have this bear flag situation going on here. So if this is truly a bear flag, then we're waiting for a higher low here, one higher high here, and possibly the market should just come back down here and fall over if we reject this weekly trend line, which we've been doing for how many times now? 1, 2, 3, 4. So a lot of things to look at. Again, I'll be more bullish till we break this weekly trend line that we've been rejecting for like since the start of the year. So just look out for that short-term bullish. If this truly is a bear flag, we're waiting for a higher low pullback, another higher high, and then obviously, if we reject this weekly trend line, the market's going to come back and fall over and sell off even more. So those are my that's my trade idea. That I'm thinking it's going to happen. We're waiting for a pullback. Load maybe buy calls here at 380. Wait for a rally, a move higher high situation here, and then maybe load puts at the weekly time frame and fall over. Obviously, if we break the weekly time frame or the weekly trend line here, I would say the market is definitely bullish for sure, and we're starting to form a new uptrend. But yeah, that's my trade idea. So now I'm going to go on to the QQQ. So QQQ is kind of a little bit behind the SPY. SPY is kind of a lot higher than SPY is. There's nothing wrong with that, but the Qs are kind of catching up, are playing catch up right now. SPY and the Dow Jones have been kind of leading the sector more. And then here we have this line here. Oops. Well, we can go to the smaller time frame. So we're gonna go to the 4-hour time frame here. But as you can see here, we're still kind of in. If we go to the week first, let's go to the weekly time frame. Again, indecision doji. We're not able to close. We weren't able to close below 280 or, indecision doji candle here. Weekly perspective, we're still rejecting this trend line. We're waiting for a rally, maybe to this 300 or what is it, 305 region for rejection. But it's kind of been chopping around again. The only difference is that since Qs or SPY is a little higher, the pullback may be right around here in this region to 270. It's just been trading sideways in this chop fest here, and especially in this marker here. If we go to the 4-hour time frame here, right, we kind of had this maybe rising wedge pattern here, right? We're possibly waiting for the right here rising wedge pattern. We're probably waiting for another higher low pullback in this region here, maybe around 280, move higher, and then possible sell-off here. But again, just a whole lot of indecision in the market. And obviously this gap up here was because of the CPI data, being bullish on the 10th. And, the market opened extremely high and so on and so forth, right? But again, daily perspective, it's short-term bullish, right? This could be a rising wedge pattern, which is bearish. We just form another higher low here somewhere here in this region, wait for another higher high, and then possibly fall over. That could be the likely situation, but again, you want to always be prepared of in case something happens. You never want to miss an opportunity trade. But that's another trade idea I have in mind here. So we have a bear flag on the SPY and the QQQ. We also have rising ascending wedge pattern here, possibly on the Qs. So we could be seeing a sell-off later, in the upcoming weeks. Anything's possible, but for the short time being, we are bullish. We have to wait for this break of this weekly trend line, and form a new higher low. And yeah, that's my analysis for SPY and the QQQ. So now we're gonna move on to Apple. So Apple, again, if we go to the weekly time frame, right? Weekly time frame, still a little bit of this indecision candle here. It's kind of indecision body, or we weren't able to close below 148. Buyers pushed the market up. We weren't able to go back above this high of 156. So we rejected 152. If we go to the daily time frame here, right? So on the daily time frame here, this was a well, this you can ignore this blue marker here, right? Um, let's go on this. It's kind of ignore. Let me get rid of this blue marker here, so I don't lead to any confusion here. So Apple, we're kind of sitting right above 153. The market closed at 152. Again, kind of a whole lot of chop here. We're trying to, where the market expecting a pullback here. We did try to recover. Or we did bounce off of 146 support, so we did sold off in this week, and we bounced up. But again, we're kind of still in this sideways chop. Not a whole lot of action. The market's pretty much waiting to see if we can get up right back above this high during the October 28th, which is roughly around 56. And frankly, I'll be a little bit more bullish once we break the neckline of 155, and we continue to move this head higher. But from a lower time frame perspective, if I go ahead and go to the 4-hour time frame, right, we had this beautiful pullback here. We had this like bull flag situation, pulled back to 146.40. Now we're kind of sitting in this chop fest. This could be maybe let me go to the smaller time frame, the 1 hour, right? This could possibly be a let me see here. Well, I don't really have a trade idea here, but we did have a cup and handle formation here, cup handle explosion, another pullback here. We had a small head and shoulders pattern, small pullback, so on and so forth. So, again, it's still a whole lot of indecision in the market, but there was something that I did catch up on or pick up on, and I can't remember what it was at the moment. What was it exactly? What was it exactly? I don't remember. But anyway, still, Friday was a lot of consolidation, right? This could be maybe a, probably like a bull pennant pattern here, something like this, right? Or not pennant, but an indecision. You have kind of like an indecision pattern here. So we could be seeing for a possible breakout to either to the upside or downside. As long as we hold above 148.50, I think it's pretty bullish. There's nothing wrong with consolidation here because we did kind of consolidate here, move lower. Buyers or sellers weren't able to do their position and bring Apple below 146. We right back up at the 152 range, and we're kind of been consolidating. So right now it's just sideways chop. So I'll expect a breakout of this triangle, this pennant pattern here, right? Just wait for a break higher, break lower. If we break, we're just waiting to see whether or not we break above 153.20. And yeah, we'll see where the market takes us. But again, meantime, sideways, daily perspective here. We go get my fib levels from this prior low here to this high. Right, we're kind of sitting right at the 38.2 retracement here. We retraced to 150 from this high to this low. We retraced to, this was the 50% retracement level here, right? So let me zoom in, right? We're kind of at the 50% retracement level. So again, this was the 30. Yeah, we retraced all the way back down from this high to this low. Here, 146 or 145 was retracement, 50%, 145, 146, you can say, right? We retraced to those levels. The buyers were able to hold up that position. And now we're sitting right above the 38.2. So as long as we're above 148.50, as I said earlier, pretty bullish. Nothing wrong with that. We're just waiting to see if we break 153.50, which is a golden line I have drawn out here. And obviously break the I think the higher high of the October. So we'll see if that takes place. But again, we're trying to see if this is really a true confirmation of bullish trend. But for the most part, Apple is fairly bullish. So let's go to Tesla. Tesla, major selling pressure. We did break this neckline here of 20. I think this was 210. Now we're seeing a little bit of leeway of selling pressure. Bearish trend. Tesla is kind of falling behind other tech companies. Like I said, Apple's kind of leading the sector. Tesla's way below this, or it's kind of behind the sector. Tesla's higher, Tesla's lower, Apple's higher. So we're kind of sitting right below 185 region and we go to the weekly perspective. Again, some see this as a head and shoulders pattern. If we go to the monthly perspective, you have your head here, your left shoulder, your right shoulder, and now we're seeing selling pressure. The next stop would be roughly 132 if we can continue to see some selling pressure. But right now we're sitting right exactly at this neckline here of, let me see, mark right here. Go to the daily time frame. We're kind of sitting right at support of 180. Right, we closed at 175.70, or we closed right above it at 185. So Tesla has a long way to go to make up for the market. So, anything lower than that, 131 will be your next stop. Right here. I would say not 170. Probably right here, 150. And the next stop after that would be 129. But again, extremely bearish. I would probably see some more selling pressure throughout the weeks. So now we're going to take a look at Microsoft. So Microsoft is kind of respecting this kind of bull flag. Of course, we do have a bull flag here, right? Bull flag breakout here, but that's completely besides the point. From a daily, again, with the weekly time frame, right? Indecision doji, not a whole lot of price action across most of the tech sectors besides Tesla, right? In a lot of indecision candles. And again, just a whole lot of chop, not really a whole lot of action here. We're kind of sitting neutral sideways. So until we break out of 248, I really wouldn't expect much. Again, if we bring out the fib levels, right, from this prior low, just roughly around here, again, sitting right above the 38.2 retracement, nothing wrong with that. But again, we kind of want to see another, a push or some type of break above 249, 250, right? But so far, consolidation is good. It's never a bad thing, right? But as long as we're not consolidating under 236 and, go back to this like sideways chop. But again, sideways chop, we don't want to see it lower than 230, right? It's back to bear mode. But other than that, sideways chop. This could be a bull flag possibly, right? We have like something like this here, like that. And then we have like something like this. Right, we could be seeing like some sort of bull flag pattern here. It's possible, but nothing wrong with some consolidation. If we go to the 1 hour time frame, right, 1 hour time frame, let me zoom out, right, something like this. All right, bull flag maybe in this region here, something like this. I know it's not pretty, but it could be a bull flag situation, right? Higher high, higher low, so on and so forth. I think this gap up was, something like this. Bull flag, you have your pull pattern here, right? We're just waiting to break, bull flag situation here. The market could be whatever you want, but this could be a bull flag situation forming, right? We're just waiting for maybe a breakout of this trend line here, a breakout of 244 to, come back to the 250 level. But if we can break and hold above 250, bullish. Again, consolidation sideways. Even if we go back to 235, it's still bullish. It's still roughly around the 50% retracement level. But again, if we break below 235, all this progress from the inflation reading, I would see some selling pressure all the way back down to 226, which is again, chopping block. So yeah, bull flag pattern possibly in Microsoft. And now we're gonna take a look at Meta. Meta kind of seeing some recovery, right? We did come from the lows of 88, and now we're sitting right above the 100 mark, right? If we go to the weekly perspective, right? Of course, we still have this immense selling pressure here that's taking place. We still have a lot to recover, but slow and steady progress is being made. There are buyers that are still out there, taking a chance of buying lows. But here again, indecision, chop. I wouldn't really expect a whole lot of movement with Meta, and for the most part, it's just sideways. Consolidation, nothing going on here, nothing too fancy. This could be, another breakout possibly. Could be, something like this, right? I forgot exactly what, I think it's like a pennant pattern if I'm not mistaken. Something like this, right? Boom, boom, boom. Retest of 110, then possible breakout and move higher, right? So basically the move would play out like this, something like this, boom, boom, boom. Here, another low. Form a double bottom here at 110, breakout, and see a next rally higher, probably to 120. It's possible, but that's what I'm looking at the moment. So As long as we're not going back lows here and drop below $100. So far, it's just neutral sideways consolidation. Nothing wrong with that. We're going to take a look at AMD. So, as you can see here, we were making higher highs and higher lows. Let's go to the daily time frame. I had this trend line drawn out. We were seeing a lot of progress being made with the chip sector and the chip sector mainly. So AMD did manage to break out of this kind of chops fest here, seeing high highs and higher lows. We did have bullish divergence. We broke out. We broke out here. We rejected this region here. Let me go ahead and mark this here. All right. We rejected $80. And I don't remember if I said in my previous videos, but I said the market would be bullish if we're able to break and hold above 80, right? That would be a complete reversal of the trend line. But again, we rejected 80, came back down. We're kind of sitting pretty right above the $73 mark here. So again, we don't want to come. I'm still expecting a retracement, right? Because it was a pretty huge breakout and there wasn't really a pause. So we take a look from this low to this high, right? The 38.2 retracement. I'm looking for a next rally higher. Would be the 60 or the $70 region or the 69, 66 level. Even a pullback to $66 is nothing too bad, because if we go to the 1 hour time frame, let me go ahead and get rid of this here. Hold up. If we go to the 1 hour time frame, like, go ahead and get rid of the fib levels, so you guys can see it is kind of like a cup and handle formation that I've drawn out here, or from what I'm seeing on the 1 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame here. If we go to the 4 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame, right? 4 hour time frame looks like a cup and handle formation here. It's kind of have a cup here. It's not the prettiest cup, but I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me go ahead and do this. You have like a cup formation here, possibly waiting for like a handle to take place here, right? A handle all the way back down to, I would say, the $70, $69 region is good for a possible move higher to 80 for a breakout. That's what I'm looking for AMD. That's my another trade idea I have in mind, or to look out for. Obviously, I could be entirely wrong, but you know, that's what it looks like to me. And again, we kind of had this you know, hang on, this bull flag situation here, you know, from this region here below, boom, all right, and then you have one trend line here from this region to here, or even like this, right, like that, you know, bull flag. You know, we have two higher highs. We're waiting for another higher low here, and then a retest of 70, and then a move higher. That's what I'm waiting on for AMD. But again, cup, right, handle being formed, break above 80, bullish. But again, you know, like all the tech sectors and SPY and the QQQ, we've been rejecting this weekly time frame, right? If we're able to break above this time frame, let me go ahead and extend this a little longer. Right, it's sitting right above the $80 mark here. So if we're able to break and hold above that, bullish, forming a new trend line. But we'll see how that market plays out. And again, bearish if we go right below this chop zone, above below. If we break below and accept lower prices below $69, or actually, let me go ahead and rephrase that. You know, as long as we hold above $66, I'd say it's pretty bullish. But if we go back down below 66, just chop zone again, chop fest. And obviously that's not what we want to see. So yeah, that's AMD for you guys. And then lastly, we have Nvidia. You know, huge bullish trend, you know, higher highs and higher lows here, right? We're following this ascending channel here, or upward channel, which is fairly bullish, right? Pretty good structure here. We did try to break out of the weekly time frame here. If we go to the weekly perspective, right, we did almost break out of it, you know. For the most part, we kind of did, but you can still say a little bit of rejection here if I move it up just a little higher. But we did manage to break above it, but we kind of like, you know, go ahead and leave it like this, right? It could be possible, you know, that, you know, we did make an attempt to break out of it, but we still rejected this region here. So, you know, of course, I'm adjusting my lines just slightly, you know, but so far it's been definitely doing a lot better than AMD is, right? We touch this marker, we're kind of like sitting below here. So it could be something like this. Something like this. Not the prettiest, not the best, but again, we're still supporting this channel here. So we're possibly waiting for a pullback here. Could be something like this as well. But for the most part, fairly bullish, I must say. As long as you break the weekly trend line here, it's pretty bullish, right? We did reject 160. We kind of had this like huge gap, so expect lower pullback. As long as we're expecting this trend line that I have drawn out here, right here, I wouldn't really worry too much. We hold above, I would say the halfway mark, 150 is fine. Wait for a next move higher. If we're able to go above 160, break out of this weekly downward trend line, and then the next bullish indications that we're right back above 170. But huge progress. Definitely a good channel being formed here for Nvidia. So yeah. Other than that, and you also have another cup and handle formation here as well, right? Cup, handle, right? Bull flag situation here, quite possibly like this. Let me go to the 1 hour time frame, right? Like that. Let me zoom out, right? Something like this. Boom here, something like this. I apologize if I can't recall the patterns, right? Something like this, right? You see? I gotta remember what this pattern is, but you have your pull here. And I really want to remember the pattern. I don't want to leave you guys on a hunt. I don't recognize all the patterns. I only just see them, right? So we have a pennant pattern, bullish pennant pattern here. Somewhat of a pennant pattern. Obviously, it's not the best, it's not the prettiest, but that's pretty much what it looks like. We're possibly waiting for a breakout higher, right? And that would be a good indication of a next rally higher in the upcoming days. But we'll see how the market plays out. We could be seeing another retest of this trend line here. Because again, if we zoom out, it still supports this trend line here. Let me go to the 4 hour time frame. Right here, still supporting this trend line, support, waiting for a test here of one. Let's see right here, 150, which is good. Move higher, break and hold above 160, bullish, right? But yeah, that's my overall trading analysis for this upcoming week and a few of my trade ideas. And I apologize for being out for so long. I was sick, I had a fever. I'm still gonna post regular videos and stuff like that. And I also will be having a family come over, so I'm going to try to post when I can for the week. But again, expect the market to see some selling pressure right before the holidays is what I'm expecting. We're still waiting for a pullback to take place, but I'm still kind of biased on like this is a good sign that the market's bullish. Obviously, buyers has been holding up the market, not letting it fall below 388 on the SPY, right? But again, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher high, waiting for another higher low here in this region, which is at 380, which is a 38.2, which is good, right? For another high here, we break this weekly trend line bullish. If we reject it, see some more selling pressure, then this will confirm a bear flag play out here in the longer time frame perspective, and we could be seeing some more selling pressure take place throughout the market, right? So yeah, that's my overall analysis for this week on last week's video. So again, CPI data come out slightly less. We're waiting to see what FOMC for December is going to reveal. 0.50, 0.75. 0.50 is bullish. 0.75 is a little hawkish, bearish, right? If we can get another CPI read of the market seeing improvement in inflation, I would expect the market to receive it as a positive outlook in the economy. And the market, it could be a good indication that, a bull market's on its way. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave a like and a comment down below. And I will post another video probably after Thanksgiving. So expect the video Saturday, Sunday. I'm gonna be with my family, so I hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving meal. Spend time with family, friends, and yeah, hope you guys have an amazing week this week, and enjoy the holidays and eat plenty of food and turkey and so on. so on and so forth. So see you guys later this week. Peace.